about to introduce our next guest. His name is Daniel Packard, and he's here to help us solve a really important problem because something in your life might be holding you back. Is something holding you back? Is it anxiety, procrastination, people pleasing? Is it perfectionism? And have you been frustrated by maybe coaches, therapists, books, videos, retreats, classes? Well, Daniel Packard is here to give us this new perspective. He's a mechanical engineer. His company is Full Liberation Technology. They've spent 8 years and over $1 million in research and development to reverse engineer an innovative system that's helped thousands of people live much happier lives by being free of what holds them back by quickly and permanently with an industry-leading 90% success rate. So we're about to find out how we can engineer being happy, being free of anxiety, everything else that comes with that. Daniel, pleased to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here. And if your audience is going, wait, engineering, what anxiety, engineering? I get it doesn't make a lot of sense, but trust me, it does once I explain it to you. And actually, you do want an engineer trying to solve the limitations that hold us back because engineers are really good at being tenacious and problem solving, and we're really good at getting results. And I want to be clear with your audience kind of how I want to help them. Obviously, it's a marketing podcast, sales, entrepreneurs, and I want to help your audience be better marketers without even talking about marketing, which is the things that keep us from being better marketers. You can have all the knowledge, all the talent, all the skill, all the hard work, but your audience knows if you procrastinate, if you are a perfectionist, a people pleaser, also have low confidence, which is fear of rejection, fear of failure, caring what people think of you, it's going to affect your ability to be a marketer. Because if you're a marketer and you need things to be perfect, well, that's going to affect your ability to be productive because you're always worrying, is it perfect? Is it perfect? Is it perfect? And as you know, that slows you down and will affect your productivity, but also your ability to be more authentic. When you're worried about being perfect, your best ideas don't come out. Also, if you're a people pleaser, it can affect your ability to be a good, successful marketer because you may not always charge your clients what you're worth because you're busy trying to be liked. Also, in your family, if you're putting your family's needs or your friends' needs or your job's needs ahead of your own, what can happen is you can have burnout and get exhausted because you're always trying to please people and you can burn out. Also, obviously, low confidence, needing people to like you, fear of rejection, fear of failure. That's going to affect your sales ability because sales is scary. But if you have high confidence and you don't care, that's magnetic. But also, a lot of marketing is being creative. And if you have this fear of what if people don't like it, it affects your ability to lead. It affects your ability to be high level creative. But also, if you own your own business, if you have anxiety or low confidence or procrastination, you're inefficient, you don't make as much money, but also you don't enjoy work as much. And so I want to share with your audience right now a way, the breakthrough innovations we made to not be aware of these things, not to have tips and tools and insights to manage it. Your audience already has management tools, but a perceptual framework that we spent 8 years developing that allows your audience to be free of these symptoms quickly and in a way, one of my favorite words, that is simple. That's what I want to share with your audience. What do you think, Robert?
I think let's go. I think I'm excited. I know that you're big on these ideas like, well, the anxiety that's coming out, it's not the root cause, right? It's just a symptom. And then there's also the idea of being stuck in the cycle. And so like what you've laid out here is, if we have these bad patterns, if we have these bad habits, if we have the low confidence, if we're people pleasing, then the people who are around us, like our business peers, people on our team, will be kind of mediocre as well. And then the customers we attract will be mediocre. We don't want any of that, right? We want to be our best selves, find our inner selves, pursue greatness. So I'm excited. Let's go. Help us out.
Thank you. Now, what I'm going to be sharing with your audience again is the understanding that we developed that addresses the root cause and that allows these patterns to be gone in a matter of weeks. And when people hear that, they go, well, that sounds great. I want that. But of course, your audience has tried things in the past from what I call the improvement industrial complex, this $1 trillion industry of coaches and therapists and psychologists. And your audience has gone for help with these patterns, anxiety, procrastination, people pleasing, low confidence, and it's not gone. And so they're understandably skeptical. So I want to tell my story, the story of my company, so you understand that what I'm about to share with your audience, where it comes from, so you can have hope and trust that this is much more effective than what you've tried because it's an innovation. And the innovation gets something that marketers love, results. Our company is all about results. We're not about catchphrases, what sounds cool, what sells, but results. Do you like results, Robert?
I love results.
Yes. And the reason I care so much about results is because when I was growing up, my dad was a physicist. And, you know, physicists and scientists live and breathe with results. And he sat me down when I was 10. And it was kind of an intense talk, but he said, you know, Daniel, anybody can have an idea or a theory, but you don't know if that works. It's the person that gets results. That's the person you need to listen to and trust. He said, results matter, which was pretty heavy for a 10-year-old, but I appreciated it because I was a little inventor. I loved inventing things. And this idea of making something that got a result, that's powerful. That's what the world needs. The world doesn't need more ideas. We need things. When you're in pain, you need results. And I was good at engineering and inventing things as a kid. I was like a little Ferris Bueller, a little mini MacGyver, a little MacGyverito, and I could invent things that make results. And so I went to engineering school to be professionally trained. How do you look at a complex problem, break it down into smaller pieces, then you build a prototype, and then what do? You test it. Does it get a result? Usually not. So what do? Calibrate, refine, iterate until the invention, the innovation gets consistent results. So the good news was I knew how to make machines work, but not life work. So I could make a robot that played ping pong, but I had anxiety, procrastination, people pleasing, perfectionism, and low confidence. And, you know, I just couldn't be the person I wanted to be. I wasn't fulfilling my destiny and purpose. I wasn't making what I wanted to make. And I go looking for help from therapists, coaches, gurus, retreats, apps, books, you name it. I did it. I spent 10 grand, $100,000 on myself. And I kind of looked at the results and I said, this stuff's not gone. I'm still doing it. And I'm still not being who I wanted to be. I could see it. And I was pissed. I kind of looked up to the universe one day and I just said, like, what do you want from me? Like, I get this as a test, but I've been at this 10 years. What do you want from me? And I was just being rhetorically pissed off. I didn't think I'd get an answer, but I sort of heard this voice. It wasn't my dad's voice. It wasn't like the voice of God or anything. It was just this voice of results matter. And I just saw that this $1 trillion improving industrial complex doesn't get great results. I'm an engineer. I know how to get good results. So I founded my research company, Full Liberation Technology, with the mission to see, could we use engineering and reverse engineer an understanding of what holds people back such that we can address the root cause quickly, mechanically, almost guaranteed, and in a way that is simple and gets permanent results. Why? Because my dad said results matter. It was hard, took 8 years, $1 million, but we did it. And I want to share with your audience sort of the key breakthroughs that made this innovation possible. But that's my story. What do you think?
I think that you've come a long way, like the rest of us have, and that sometimes some random scene, some random event from childhood just like sticks with you, and you don't realize it. And many times we have to like rise above it and say, well, hey, what happened before got me here, and now it's time to apply some of that analytical engineeringness. And people love this kind of stuff, right? It's exciting. Think about like the Tim Ferrisses of the world, right? They say, well, here's this messy life situation. Let me like apply some logic. Let me cut it up. Let me put in some strategies. And so, what's happening with people? What's the causes? What's the solutions?
Well, it's a lot simpler than you think. I'm going to explain it to you. But the key takeaway, what I want your audience to understand, is that this can be simple. And before I dive into the theory of how it's simple, you, Robert, experienced a mini training that we teach because I wanted you to experience firsthand what we do. And when you experience what we do, did it seem super complicated or pretty simple?
Simple.
Yeah. Is simple good?
It is.
Yeah. We could make it complicated. I could say, well, it's your mindset based on childhood and a scarcity mindset based on the neurons in your synaptic pathways. And what I want you to do is do an ice bucket challenge. Then I want you to walk on fire. Then I want you to quiet your mind, but then step into your greatness. We could do that. You want to do that?
Sounds like 18 distractions.
Yeah, and it doesn't work. So let me explain to your audience this simple understanding, the perceptual framework that makes it possible that we are able to solve people's limitations in 6 weeks. The first thing is to understand, and this is your inner mechanics lesson to you, Robert, and audience. It feels like, and we're taught, that we have multiple problems. It feels like, and we're taught that we have anxiety or we have procrastination or we are a people pleaser, or you are a perfectionist, or you have low confidence, or you have a fear of rejection, where it feels like multiple problems. But in reality, what we saw when we started to do research and approach this like engineers was your audience, the world does not have multiple problems. What we have is multiple symptoms of one singular thing, which is fear. Let me say that again. It feels like, and they sell a lot of books and videos and retreats by telling you have multiple problems. And it feels like that. But in reality, as I'll explain, we do not have multiple problems. We have multiple symptoms of one thing, which is fear. You can say, I have anxiety, or you could say, you just have a lot of fear, and you call that high level of fear anxiety. You could say, you're a people pleaser, or you could say you have a fear of people not liking you, so you make sure that everybody's happy first instead of yourself. You could say you have perfectionism, or you are a perfectionist, or you could say you have a fear of making a mistake, and thus things need to be perfect to stay comfortable. You could say you have low confidence, or you could say you have a fear of being your natural, true, authentic self. So if we want to simplify this, can you see that it's a simpler understanding to realize that we don't have multiple problems, but multiple symptoms of one thing, which is fear? Does that make sense?
Makes sense. It's all about fear.
Yeah, and what and why is that valuable if we want to solve this quickly? To realize it's simpler and that the root cause is fear.
Because it's, to me, it says that there's just the one obstacle that we, and I'm not sure if it's a matter of becoming fearless or proceeding despite the fear, but it seemed like in my imagination, instead of like all these roadblocks, landmines, I'm just like, there's this one block in front of me, just fear, just one singular issue to deal with.
100%. So, one, if you're just looking at the math, instead of 5 things or 10 things, I go after one thing, that's just going to be more efficient. But what is true is that all those other things, the perfectionism, procrastination, those are symptoms. So, your audience has been sent trying to solve this at the symptom level. You can't. It's impossible, which is why it's a $1 trillion industry, because they're sending you to the symptom. That's why you still have anxiety, why you still procrastinate, why you're still a perfectionist. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're not trapped. The experts, while well intentioned, sent you to the symptom level, I think because they make more money, and you couldn't solve it. And I want your audience to know that so they don't blame themselves. The root cause is fear. Now, I'm going to tell your audience our understanding of fear that allows you to be free of the limiting fear, and then the symptoms go away. But before I tell it to you, I want to be clear. I'm going to be explaining some theory. Well, it's not theory, it's the understanding that we developed that allows our system to help people be free of their limitations in a short period of time. And it's also the understanding that allows us to back up our results. When people work with us, we do not charge them at the beginning because we haven't gotten them a result yet. We only charge people at the end once they have clear, measurable data, which you measure through our app, that what you're struggling with is either gone or significantly down in 6 weeks. And people say, how do you guarantee it? Well, because we understand this on a mechanical level. And at the end, I'm going to send your audience to my website, danielpackard.com, where they can download a free 90-minute training where they can experience what I'm about to teach them firsthand and do a real deep dive to really feel, keyword feel, where the fear is coming from that nobody ever told you, and then apply one of our techniques where you can feel the fear and the symptoms starting to heal out of your body. So right now I'm going to tell you the understanding, but later I want your audience to really feel this for themselves because of that they can trust. Now, the understanding is this. As engineers, we said, well, where's the fear coming from? Like, where's it coming from? First, we got to get the right location. And we looked at where people were being told where fear was coming from. And for the most part, people are told that fear is a problem with the mind, right? You'll hear things like change your fearful mindset, your scarcity mindset, or stop focusing on the negative, or stop your negative thoughts, or quiet your mind, quiet your ego. Or for anxiety, you go to experts that are called mental health experts. It's got the word mental right in there. So can you sort of see that for the most part, whether it's like therapy, psychology, spirituality, when it comes to fear, a lot of the approaches are it's all a problem of your mind. Does that ring true?
It rings true. You hear about that a lot. Yes.
Yeah. Now let me ask you, to your audience and to you, Robert, With that knowledge that fear is coming from the mind, it's false evidence appearing real. With that understanding of fear, have you been able to get rid of your limiting fear?
No.
No. Kind of suspicious, isn't it? If these
Yeah.
people are so knowledgeable, then why isn't their knowledge getting rid of this? If you go to a doctor with a broken leg, they're confident we know why you have got problems. Your leg, which should be in one piece, is in two pieces. We'll put a cast on. There's a mechanism that fuses the bone, and you're up and running in 6 to 8 weeks. When you really know what you're talking about, you get great, fast, permanent results. So we looked at this and we said, is fear a problem of the mind? And we realized it's not. Fear is not originating in the mind. The mind can say scary negative things that can create fear and doubt, but that doesn't mean it's the root cause. The scary thoughts in the mind, the negative thoughts in the mind, are also a symptom of where fear actually originates. Fear does not originate in the mind. Fear originates in the body. Let me say that again. Fear does not originate in the mind. The root cause of fear is in the body and then spreads to the mind because that's the way we're mechanically wired. We were mechanically wired that your body feels things, telling your system what the body needs to stay alive. And then the mind is like a little computer that carries out the body's wishes. You feel hunger in the body first. Then the mind sort of senses that and then tries to figure out the food situation. If you're in the jungle and you hear something in the bushes, you'll feel fear in the body first. Then the mind senses that fear and goes, uh-oh, we need to problem solve. The issue is right now there's a hidden source of fear that I'm going to tell your audience that's making the body feel afraid. Now, there's no real threat, but it feels like there's a threat. But the mind doesn't know that. So then the mind goes, uh-oh, there's a problem. Well, the problem is you. You suck. You're not good enough. Your business will fail. You will fail. What if you get sick? What about your family? Why is your wife hanging out with that guy so much? It'll create doubt. And then, yeah, you'll get stuck in this spin cycle. But in terms of mechanically where fear is originating, the actual root cause is in the body. Nobody says, I think fear. I think anxious. Where do we feel it? Chest, heart, throat, stomach. That's where we feel fear. Listen to those words: chest, heart, stomach, throat. Does that sound like the mind to you or the body?
Body.
Yes. Does it make sort of sense that fear originates in the body and not the mind?
It makes sense that it's yeah, when your heart's thumping, when you're out of breath, when you're sweating, that's all body stuff, of course.
It's all body stuff. Now, why is this important? Because the experts have been sending people to the mind, not getting great results. Anxiety's on the rise after 100 years of modern psychology. And no one stopped and thought, maybe we're in the wrong place. They are. It's not in the mind, it's in the body. We have a body-based approach to fear and a body-based approach to anxiety, procrastination, people-pleasing, perfectionism, and low confidence, because that's the actual root cause location. And I'm telling your audience this because they weren't taught that. I wasn't taught that. So your audience has been sent to the mind, and you can't solve this. You can temporarily do symptom management and lower the scarcity thinking and lower the fear for thoughts. But what do? They just come back. Why? Because you haven't addressed the fear in the body. But when you do, when you go to the actual location, you get much better results because you're in the actual correct location. So to your audience, I'm telling you, you were sent to the wrong place. I am sorry. I don't know why they didn't pay attention, but your fear is coming from the body. That's the root cause. And what we do is show people how to heal the fear out of your system permanently. When the fear goes away, the anxiety goes away, the procrastination goes away, the people pleasing goes away, the low confidence goes away, and you're free to be that best, most productive version of yourself. Now, I'll explain to you why the body is afraid. But first, do you have any thoughts or questions?
Just randomness that's going through my head is, when you mentioned about the body being so important, what comes to mind is like, if I'm stuck on a problem, I'll like write down my goals by hand. I'll take a walk. I'll go for a run. You always think about like, sitting up straight and being upright, being confident. None of this is just inner mind stuff. So it's like that's what's coming to mind as far as the random threads about the mind body connection.
Well, they're definitely connected. And your audience kind of already knows that the body is part of this. You can go for a run and calm down. You can do breathing exercises and it calms you down. The mind quiets. That's proof that it's body first, mind second. Usually that's why meditation works. You sort of draw your breath in, you're calming the body, and then the mind sort of quiets on its own. The only problem is it's temporary, it's surface level. The actual source of the fear has not been addressed. So you can lower it temporarily, but it's going to come back because the actual root cause of the fear hasn't been healed. I'm going to explain that to your audience. But yes, temporarily you can calm the body and the mind will go with it. It's just temporary. But do you want a temporary fix or a permanent fix, Robert?
Permanent.
Okay, since you asked, and again, I'm going to explain to you how this is possible, but I want your audience to download the free training called From Stuck to Unstoppable at the end so that they can really feel this for themselves. You're going to bring up a fear in this training. You're going to measure how much it scares you. Then you're going to apply one of our techniques to the body, not the mind, and you will feel scarily, in a good way, calmer. And it shocks people. I had an entrepreneur and a marketer 3 weeks ago. He had anxiety, he had procrastination and people pleasing. He'd spent, I think, over $500,000 on coaches and therapists. And he told me, he said, Daniel, I've spent my whole life trying to get rid of this stuff. I've had it since high school. And I don't think you can do it quickly. He said, but I met somebody at a convention who had similar symptoms. They explained your system. They explained that you only pay at the end when you get results. He said that was intriguing. So I'm open. And he just did the 90-minute training first. And he sent me this message. And he said, I have not been this calm since college. He said, it was a deep calm. And you're right. It's coming from your body. And what that gave him was real hope that he really could be free of this. So this is why this information is valuable. It gives people hope that you don't have to be stuck in these patterns forever, but also it makes this solvable and, again, a really good word, simple. Okay? Because going from the wrong location to the right location, is that going from the wrong location to the right location, is that complicated or simple, Robert?
It's simple.
It's simple. Okay, would you like another powerful insight that is also simple?
Yes, please.
Okay, and this one's so simple that when we first saw it, I was almost irritated that the experts missed this, and often people are too. Okay, so the question is, all right, well, like, where in the body, right? Where in the body is the fear coming from? And it's so obvious. First of all, because you're in the body. The body is a lot simpler and more mechanical than the mind. They still are just trying to understand the mind. There's like a million billion synaptic pathways and neurons. It's complicated in there. They don't understand. But the body is pretty well mapped out, and there's systems, and it's mechanical. The skeleton, a system, mechanical. Lungs, system, mechanical. Tongue, it's all mechanical. It's all systems. That's great if you're an engineer. So we just said, all right, where's the system in the body that's maybe malfunctioning and creating all this fear? It's really simple. Okay, here's how simple. Okay, so can you see how excited I get about this?
I can. Yeah.
Yeah. When you help people at this level, it also, I love simple. Okay, so let's take out the word fearful. Let's take out the word anxious. Let's take out the word worry. And let's just use the word nervous. Let's say that human beings are experiencing different symptoms of nervousness. A lot of nervous is anxiety. People hiding in their comfort zone. There's something out there that makes you nervous, so you stay in the comfort zone. Procrastination, people pleasing, perfection, low confidence. Those are symptoms of fear, aka nervous. So let's just take the word nervous, okay? I'm going to ask you, Robert, and your audience. You already know the answer, trust me. If you had to guess what system in the body do you think is most likely malfunctioning and making everybody nervous? Again, the question is, which system would you guess is most likely malfunctioning and making everybody feel extra nervous? Do you think it is A, the skeletal system, B, the endocrine system, or C, wait for it, the nervous system? What do you think, Robert?
I would hazard a guess and say C, nervous system.
Yeah, and why would you hazard a guess the nervous system is making people nervous? Why do you think?
Word association.
Yeah, it's got the word right in there, man. Think about this. We're experiencing different symptoms of nervousness and fear, and there's a system in the body literally called the nervous system. But for 100 years, therapists, coaches, gurus are sending people to the mind, getting crappy results. Meanwhile, there's a system in the body called the nervous system in the body, and they're not going there. When we went there, we saw, oh, nervous system. Systems in the body can malfunction. Maybe the nervous system is malfunction, creating all this nervousness and fear and symptoms. And the truth is, it is. Essentially, your nervous system is your body's natural threat response system. If your nervous system is healthy, you feel a word called safe because it's like there's no threat and you feel safe. That's good. But for reasons which I'll explain, the nervous system is malfunctioning and now you feel unsafe, which creates this feeling of nervousness and fear. And when that nervousness and fear pops up, then you get the symptoms of anxiety, procrastination, people pleasing, perfection, and low confidence. So, does it track? I'm asking your audience and you, Robert, if there's a system in the body, and we know systems can malfunction, does it at least make logical, mechanical sense that maybe the system, called the nervous system, isn't healthy? It's cranking out nervousness and fear, which then give rise to these symptoms of anxiety, people pleasing, perfectionism, and low confidence. Does that seem mechanically, logically sound?
Very logically sound.
Does it seem simple?
Seems simple.
Okay, any thoughts or questions on what I just shared?
Just that we need to be healthier, and that it's a cycle, right? Unhealthy body, unhealthy mind leads to unhealthy body. So we need your help to break out of the pattern.
Yeah, when you say it that way, it makes total sense. Healthy body, healthy mind. But usually for personal development and spiritually psychology, they're not going to the body. They're going to the mind, which is why people have not solved this. So people say, well, how do you solve these limitations in 6 weeks? How do you have a guarantee where you only pay at the end when you get results? How do you have a 90% success rate, meaning we help 9 out of 10 people that do our system? Because we're actually doing what is mechanically actually going on. And the power of this is if you go at it from a body perspective, at the nervous system, here's the benefit. The reason our nervous system is malfunctioning is not about right now. Sometimes people say, well, yeah, it's my nervous system. It's because I've got all these challenges and my childhood. No, that is not what's making your nervous system malfunction. Your nervous system, just like any other system in the body, needs daily maintenance. It needs hygiene. But we were never taught how to do it. So if you're not taught how to take care of a system like your teeth, eventually that lack of care will accumulate and the system in the body will malfunction. The nervous system is the same. We were never taught to take care of it. So over decades of accumulated basically neglect, our nervous system is now in a state of disrepair. That's the downside. And unless you learn to bring your nervous system back to health, which is what we teach, it's a whole system of all the tools you need in one place and very simple, easy to follow instructions. About 20 minutes per day over 6 weeks brings your nervous system back to health. You can't just like go to a spa day or meditate here or there. That's fine for the surface. But to actually fully rehabilitate the nervous system, you have to really repair it. It takes about 6 weeks with all the tools. But when you do, here's the benefit. This is what's so cool. Okay, but back up. If you don't take care of your nervous system, which nobody does because you were not taught to take care of it, you feel unsafe inside. When you feel unsafe inside, that is such a strong primitive problem. It cuts everybody off from their ultimate potential. You can't be the best, most productive, most focused version of you if you feel unsafe from within. That's going to affect your performance, your productivity, your ability to earn money, your ability to be a leader. It's going to affect you. It can't not. Unsafe. It's primitive. But if you bring your nervous system back to health, what you experience, what I experience every day, what our clients experience after 6 weeks, is you bring your nervous system back to health, and then you get to feel a feeling, which is your default feeling, which is to feel safe. I'm asking your audience and you, Robert, how much better of a marketer, an entrepreneur, a leader, a parent, a partner, how much better would life be if you just woke up every morning and your default was just to feel safe from the inside out? How would your life be better or different?
Much better, less baggage, and being able to help many more people.
Yeah. And why would that sort of solid foundation of just safe? I'm solid. No matter what happens, I'm good. I'm solid. I'm safe. Why would that maybe make you be more confident, maybe more focused, more productive? How do you think it might make a life better?
I think because you wouldn't have to be focusing on the burdens, right? Like you wake up and you think, "Oh, I'm stressed about this, stressed about that." It eats up your time, decision making, mental power, and then maybe if there's a little bit left over, oh, then I can work on my business. But if we could just focus and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna get to these emails, make these calls, work on this writing," then to be able to have like the speed and energy and momentum seems a lot more attractive.
Exactly. Speed, energy, momentum, also focus. This was 3 months ago. There was a gentleman named Aaron. He was very knowledgeable in internet sales. But again, he had the fear that people wouldn't like him. He had the procrastination and the perfectionism. And he went through our program specifically for procrastination. And as he went through it, before he went through, we track what we call emotional biomarkers. So we tracked his productivity, which is about an hour a day. His focus was about 15 minutes at a time. And it usually took him about 2 hours per day to get started because of this nervousness and unsafety underneath. And when he just addressed the nervous system and felt safer, not only did his productivity go from about 1 hour a day up to 5 hours a day, his focus went from about 15 minutes a day 15 minutes at a time up to 90 minutes at a time, but also his productivity and his efficiency skyrocketed. He made more sales, but also because his happiness and his confidence were linked to this unsafety, he was much happier at work. He was a better leader. He was better at sales because he was just more magnetic. His marriage improved and he was a better parent. All of these things from one thing, it's just more efficient and you get much better results. That's what I want people to know. And again, I want people to go and download the free training. Well, here's how I want to help people. And I want to be clear again, the value to your audience. So if you are a marketer, sales, entrepreneur, and you know that you have these patterns or behaviors, the anxiety, the people pleasing, the perfectionism, the procrastination, the low confidence, you know about it, you've learned about it, you have awareness and tips and tools, you can manage it. You can make it better. Okay, better than nothing, but you're not free of it. Our 6-week program gives you everything you need in one place such that you bring the nervous system back to health. And then what happens is at the end of 6 weeks, you just feel calm and safe. And then what happens is the symptoms of the fear, anxiety, procrastination, people pleasing, perfection, low confidence, it basically goes away and doesn't come back, leaving you to be much more authentic, tons of more energy because all the energy that went into managing the symptoms now just goes into your business. It goes into you being the person you want to be. See all this energy I have? This is not cocaine. Like this is all natural from having a very calm nervous system. And then tons of energy can run through my system because I'm not afraid. You can't be fearful and productive simultaneously, not efficiently. We're designed to be calm and grounded, and then your greatness comes out of that. So here's how I want to help your audience is go to danielpackard.com. And what I want them to do is they're going to sign up to have a free coaching call with me. Then, once you sign up to have a free coaching call with me, I'm going to send you the 90-minute training that Robert already experienced and he said was simple, and you're going to learn a ton about yourself. And I really want your audience. This is the information that the experts don't tell you. It's what I want the world to know about what holds us back, the actual root cause. It's very illuminating and very powerful to show you where this fear is coming from. And you're going to learn about it. It's going to give you a lot of deep, simple understanding of why you do what you do. And then at the end, you're going to apply the theory that you learned with one of our techniques. And you are going to feel measurably, because you're going to measure this. We love measurement. We like our results. And you're going to feel measurably calmer. And the symptoms of the fear you're going to feel are already dissipating out of your body. And then after you've done that training, you'll have that free coaching call with me. I'll learn more about your situation and how that training went. And I'll show you how to apply what you learned in the training to get even more results in your life. So again, go to danielpackard.com, sign up to get a free coaching call with me. I'll send you the 90-minute training. Then after the 90-minute training, I'll give you coaching to get even more results because my dad said results matter because we're tired of people being stuck in these hamster wheels. I'm tired of people putting band-aids. I really love efficiency and I love results, and I want your audience to experience these results firsthand.
Very nice. And I've been impressed with your efficiency in our whole conversation here. It's frustrating when you have a podcast when it's like, oh, it took until this minute to get started. We packed all sorts of stuff in. And what's also great about your communication here is kind of the this sets up, this sets up. There's like the thing, each thing leading to the next thing. And so it's been very helpful to get us some awareness and get us like kind of pointed in the right direction, which is to go to danielpackard.com. That last name is Packard.com. And is there anything else to fit into this presentation here, Daniel, or is it time to get to the wrapping up closing section?
No, just take action. People say, "Oh, can I follow you on social media?" No, you can't, because that's not going to get you results. I'm giving your audience an incredible offer, which is to experience this firsthand for free and have a coaching call with me. So no, nothing else. Just please, if you want to change permanently and quickly and see if that's possible, take action. Come visit the website at danielpackard.com.
Very nice. Single call to action, danielpackard.com. And so as people are heading there, Daniel, it's time to get one final soundbite, right? It's time to stump you, put you on the spot slightly. I like to ask my guests for a fun quote or lesson that has served them in their life, in their business, in their career, whatever, that they can pass on to others. So what comes to mind for you as far as one final quote or lesson for us?
I have a quote that was actually revealed to me from a current client who's going through our process, and I'll set it up. A lot of people are sold products for change, transformation, enlightenment, empowerment, and they're these cool, sexy words that the marketers use and the ego loves. Transformation, ooh, it doesn't always work that well. Our system is based in a couple set of tools that you repeat over and over and over again that heal the nervous system. It's the repetition of simple things over and over and over again. And so she's had these incredible transformations, but without transformations. And she sent me a message because she's been repeating the tools and they've been changing her life. And she said, repetition is the mother of reinvention. Instead of necessity is the mother of invention, it was repetition is the mother of reinvention, meaning little simple things done repetitively, that's what leads to real change. And I really liked that.
I like it too. It is time for some new habits that are, as you say, our audience, they've tried ignoring the problem. They've tried solving the problem on their own. They've tried treating the symptoms. It's time for something better. It's time for a more direct solution. Treat the fear at the root source. DanielPackard.com. Go there, check out the training, register for the coaching call. You'll love it. You'll have an amazing high energy conversation with Mr. Daniel, and you'll get some new results because you're taking some different techniques. So as we go to danielpackard.com, thank you very much, Mr. Daniel, for showing up, bringing your A game, leaving it all out on the field. If I could think of some more analogies, I would, but I really appreciate you being here and just having a lot of fun and teaching us some cool things.
My pleasure.